Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be looking at 10 common money habits that self-made millionaires have utilized to be millionaires. Now, when you look at self-made millionaires, these are individuals that did not start with money. These are individuals that started from scratch, building wealth. So they didn't come from large inheritance. They didn't come from trust funds. They didn't come from money that was already there. So similar to you and I, this is self-made millionaires. And now looking at the 10 common money habits, it is very easy to see if these things are followed, and if they are followed religiously, that you will have no problem reaching that $1 million plus mark. And of course, once you start getting the first $100,000, that makes everything in life much easier. A lot of videos also talk about the first 100,000 is always the most difficult, which is the honest truth, guys. Once you start getting past that point, you start seeing compounding interest, you start seeing balances growing much faster. So to make the next $100,000 is much easier than that very first one. So let's go ahead and get into the common money habits. Number one, they avoid debt. This is a very obvious one, guys. A lot of people say, well, utilize debt to do this or do this. Avoiding debt altogether makes a huge difference. If you want to build wealth, you cannot waste your money on paying interest on consumer credit cards, loans, anything like that. There is no reason to utilize that debt. It is really one of the biggest focuses. Even when you look at Dave Ramsey, paying off the debt, eliminating the debt is super, super important, guys. Credit cards on average run about 19 to 27% now, I believe it is. Carrying balances on there will be detrimental to your bottom line, because not only does it take away your ability to save money, but you're actually paying out a lot more in the interest on those cards than you're probably ever going to make in a return, short of possibly like a cryptocurrency, but we're not even going to get into that. Number two, they buy their cars and keep them for a long term. Now, this is one of the most expensive games that I see when you're renting your cars, when you're leasing your vehicles for a very, very small amount of the population. Yes, it does make sense, but a lot of people always want the newest vehicle. They want to make sure every 2 years they're getting something new. They have the biggest, they have the best. That comes up with a cost. That comes up with a very, very big cost. Me personally, I am 43 years old. I have owned 4 cars in my life. That is right, guys. In almost the, 25, 30 years of driving, I have had 4 cars in my life because I do keep them and I keep them paid off. So if I took out a 5-year loan, usually within the first 2, it is paid off, because that is what I want to fundamentally do, is pay off those cars. That frees up cash, giving me the ability to put it elsewhere, including a lot more of investments. Buying the car also gives you an asset. You have the value of the asset. The bank doesn't own it, you own it. Keeping the car long term, you can actually save up an incredible amount of money between purchases. So the last car that I bought, paid for in 2 years. I drove it for 10, meaning I had 8 years of no car payments. Think about that for a minute. Imagine what you could do with the money if you had 8 years that you did not have a car payment. Now, number 3, having an emergency fund. This is one of the most important things, guys. This will keep you from going right back to borrowing money, which of course is super expensive. You have to have a solid cash reserve if an emergency comes up. Again, starting at that $1,000 mark, which again, Dave Ramsey with baby steps, but then getting to the 3 to 6 months of money keeps you from taking out personal loans, keeps you from unexpected medical bills, that you can cover those. Make sure you work out your budget and your cash flow to have that emergency fund. Now we get into number 4, it is investing. Guys, this is one of the absolute biggest things, that the earlier that you kind of get into the game, true wealth creation, in my opinion, is from ownership. When you look at stocks, when you look at bonds, when you look at ETFs, these are the things you want to invest in. When you look at millionaires, billionaires, everyone who has a lot of money, it is due to the stock market. There is nothing that has returned a higher return in setting it up automatically, guys. If it's weekly, if it's bi-weekly, if it's monthly, bi-monthly, whatever it is, guys, you have to be putting money into your investment, whether it is IRAs, whether it is 401ks, short-term, long-term investment goals, without incurring the additional debt, will of course be some of the money habits that will make you a self-made millionaire. Now, with that, you do have to take a minute and think about how much risk you can take, how much risk you're looking to take. 20s, 30s, you can definitely take a lot more risk because you have a greater amount of your life left. when you start getting into the 60s and 70s, really minimizing risk and looking for additional income or what is going to be used as income to supplement Social Security and other avenues will come into play then. And number 5, taking advantage of everything their employer has to offer. Now, this is one that I feel a lot of people miss. Employer retirement match, life insurance, disability insurance through an employer. It is going to be incredibly safe, and it is also going to be significantly cheaper. HSA plans, if they offer legal services, a lot of them do tax prep services, and a lot of them also have stock purchase plans. Now, a majority of individuals do not even do the retirement match, which again, just kind of blows my mind. Your company matches, if they match anything, guys, you need to 100% being in putting money into that complete match. Number 6, try not to keep up with the Joneses. This again is something that we've talked about in this channel. This is how you can really very fast dig yourself right into debt. If your neighbors get something new, you get something new. If they get something new, you get something new. So much money is wasted on the constant upgrades of life versus the daily cost or what you can actually do with your funds. If they're going on vacation, you're going on vacation. Doesn't make a difference if they're in an entirely different financial situation than you. A lot of people still do keep up with the Joneses. And number 7, utilizing tax deductions. Now, this is huge, guys. This is where 401k contributions can really come into play. If you're putting money in there, you can offset some of those tax deductions. Like we said with the HSAs, you can offset some of the taxes. Even looking at some of the IRAs, the traditional IRAs, you can offset some of the taxes that you can be responsible for. The less you're paying in tax, the more money you're going to have available for yourself. Number 8, they look for income streams such as YouTube, DoorDash. We see a lot of additional income streams. It's not as common now to see people working one specific dedicated job. It always seems like there is something going on, whether it is renting out a room, renting out your car, whatever it may be. It seems like everyone kind of has this side hustle that is going on to make an additional income stream, which of course can supplement because their primary income is not producing them enough income. Number 9, saving for their kids' college early. This gets into generational wealth when you look at 529 plans. If I have the ability to save a significant amount for my kids, that means when my kids go in complete college, they're not going to come out of school with an astronomical amount of student debt. That means they can actually start this cycle over much sooner in life. Guys, they're not going to be burdened down by the incredible amount of student debt that people are coming out with. Makes it very easy when they're going through the process. And the final one, guys, number 10, seek advice. There are an incredible amount of professionals out there, such as myself, that do, the financial counseling, things of that nature, to set up a plan, set up a budget, work with someone. They can also hold you accountable to following the steps and making sure that you're kind of on budget, that you're not overspending. If you come in there and say, hey, I want to get a new vehicle, the price tag is $800 a month to lease it, which unfortunately is some that we've seen. Is it really work in the budget for that payment, plus that insurance, plus anything else that you might need for that vehicle? Does it make sense in the budget? Great. If it works perfectly in the budget, still, I think that's very, very on the high side. Have to make sure, again, that you are staying within a certain amount and staying within your budget without really giving up all of the ability to invest any of the money. All right, guys, so again, this is one video that I absolutely love to do. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and consider subscribing. 10 common money habits that millionaires do. And if you, again, sit down, watch it, fundamentally think about them. If you're doing this and you're doing this over a significant amount of time, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, there is no way that this is not going to make you a millionaire unless you're paying absolutely no attention, guys, because you're taking advantage of your tax deductions. You're not keeping up with the Joneses. You are putting money into investments in multiple forms. You're putting money into college funds. You have an emergency fund and you don't have debt. I don't see how fundamentally, if you're working, if you're gainfully employed, that you cannot save and make an incredible amount of money over the long term. All right, guys, again, that'll do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.